I just don't know what can be done now because America runs on sound bites, it runs on quick reaction, it runs on clickbait.
Scott Lucas, Professor of American Studies at University College Dublin. Scott, I mean, for the US public, we knew before the debate that they don't really fancy their chances with either of these candidates. But, political alliances run quite deep in the US. There's quite a lot of party loyalty. I mean, for those supporting the Republican camp, I mean, what they got was quite a mixed message there too from President Trump.
Pray for America. Pray for all of us. You had a poorly performing president, and you had a convicted felon, a sex abuser, and a fraudster who lied from start to finish with absolutely no shame. He lied about the economy to begin with. He lied about COVID. He lied about abortion. He lied about immigration. He lied, of course, about the 2020 elections. He even lied about Joe Biden's golf game. And you had a media which now in the United States and perhaps around the world for days will not talk about the issues, the most serious issues in America since 1865. They will not talk about the administration's record. They will not talk about Trump's lies. They will talk about the age and mental state of Joe Biden while ignoring the age and mental state of Donald Trump.
I think
This
that
is an
the
election
challenge
which was
is
already.
Yeah, the challenges, Scott, from the CNN watchers, they did this snap poll. 67% of people watching said Donald Trump won. And if you look at demeanour and confidence and performance, I mean, Donald Trump certainly had the edge there. And the responsibility of fact checking Donald Trump, we knew this before the debate because the moderators said they weren't going to do it, fell with Joe Biden. And he didn't have the ability to do it.
Joe Biden, I think, at times looked stunned. Even though we knew Donald Trump would do this, he looked almost stunned by the
Mm.
volume of lies that was coming out from Trump. And I think CNN made a grave mistake. They made a grave mistake by not fact checking both men throughout the debate. Uh, yeah, I mean, if you go with style rather than substance, if you go with aggression rather than reflection, if you go with luster rather than with discussion, you know, Trump, as he did in 2016 with Hillary Clinton when he stalked her across the stage, he quote won. But I'm going to repeat, this type of horse race politics now, nobody won.
Mm.
Absolutely nobody won. Ask yourself if you were talking about women's rights, immigration, the economy. Ask yourself about foreign policy. For example, keeping Ukraine safe against Russian aggression. Ask yourself if anybody really won this one.
When it came to women's rights, that's when we did see some sort of more gumption from Biden. He sort of fell into his stride a little bit more. I wonder what you think, Scott, in terms of there's only two debates like this. It's so different how they do it in the US than how we have done in the UK, where there's been so many opportunities to hear from Keir Starmer and Rishi Sunak, and they've really polished their message. We'll hear again a debate like this in September from Joe Biden and um, from Donald Trump. Do you think maybe there is an argument to say the format of the debate needs to change so that actually the public watching get the facts rather than sort of the PR bluster?
We've said that ever since 2016. I mean, we've said that ever since 2016. And I'm not sure if there is a format that can contain Donald Trump. Because again, if you take that issue of women's rights and abortion, Trump blatantly lied last night. Trump actually said last night that you can kill a newborn baby. You can't. You can't kill a newborn baby in America. That's never been the case. That's not the case under Roe v. Wade. But he said that blatantly. Joe Biden did not make a concise reply to that, and the moderators didn't step in. So, what type of debate format is going to stop Trump from saying that, and more importantly, from some people believing that? What type of debate format is going to stop Donald Trump from saying that millions of immigrants have come in and killed and raped and committed crimes against Americans when that in fact is blatantly untrue? What type of debate format is going to stop Donald Trump from saying that the 2020 election was legitimate and that he tried to pull off an attempted coup in 2021 when he tried to stay in the White House and overturn that election? I just don't know what can be done now because America runs on sound bites, it runs on quick reaction, it runs on clickbait. And the clickbait this morning is going to be about whether Joe Biden should run in November and Donald Trump's going to get a free pass.
That is the fault of the Democratic Party, isn't it? They had ample time to bring up other candidates to introduce them to the American public, and they've chosen not to do that.
I mean, it's a serious mistake. And the fact is, and again, I want to preface this. I've been careful about it until now because the fact is that this administration has perhaps passed the most significant legislation since the 1960s, maybe since the 1930s. It got us out of the coronavirus pandemic, contrary to what Trump said last night. It actually pulled the economy out of a deep, dark state, contrary to what Trump said last night. It passed infrastructure bills, green economy bills. It's tried to deal with the issue of student debt. It's tried to deal with issues such as women's rights, and even tried to deal with the issue of immigration with a bipartisan agreement earlier this year. But Joe Biden simply looked like he was not up to the task. And having said he would be a one-term president when he came into office, when he made that decision to run for a second term, nobody at the end of the day tried to stop him. I'm not sure anybody could have stopped him, but I think we're all going to pay the price for that.
The thing is, Joe Biden has to be the one that would decide to say he wouldn't run. I mean, I wasn't expecting me to have this conversation the other end of the debate. But Scott, can you imagine who could do it instead? I mean, Kamala Harris?
There's lots of talent in the Democratic Party. If we were going to play what if politics, I could give you, not only Kamala Harris, you could talk about Pete Buttigieg, who ran for president in 2020 and who has been extremely effective, continues to be extremely effective. The Democrats have got a lot of talent in Congress. The Democrats have got effective governors like Gretchen Whitmer of Michigan. But we're too late now. To change Joe Biden as the candidate would be an admission of defeat. It would not give you an alternative that would come in and save the day. And I just simply repeat that at this point today, because you will have Trump is celebrating. They will try to celebrate. But we won, we won, we won.
Mm.
I'm really worried for the future of my country, my native country. And at that point, you just simply have to put aside what if politics and say somebody somewhere needs to talk about responsibility and start prepare for the fact that if Donald Trump gets into the White House, America is going to be in a serious crisis that I'm not sure it can pull back from.
Scott, thank you. I know you're sounding despondent and sort of desperate, really, at what you've seen overnight, but I appreciate you sharing your views here. Professor of American Studies at University College Dublin.